A former Texas police officer was convicted of manslaughter Thursday for the fatally shooting of Atatiana Jefferson through, they say, a rear window of her home in 2019. They say a rare conviction of an officer for killing someone who had a gun in their home, in which everybody in Texas got guns. Texas is built on guns. She didn't point that at nobody. She heard a sound. She thought something was going on. And anybody can have a gun in their house in Texas, but yet he chose to do that. It said jurors also considered, let's say, a murder charge against Aaron Dean, but instead convicted him of manslaughter. It said the conviction comes more than 3 years after the White Fort Worth officer shot the 28-year-old sister, and said, while responding to a call about an open front door. Dean, 38, faces up to 20 years in prison. They say with the sentencing phase of his trial set to begin Friday, he had faced up to life in prison if convicted of murder. They say Dean, who had been free on bond, was booked into the Tarrant County Jail following the verdict. It said jurors deliberated more than 13 hours over 2 days before finding him guilty of manslaughter. The primary dispute, it said, during the 6 days of testimony and arguments was whether Dean knew Jefferson was armed when he shot her. It said Dean testified that he saw her weapon. Prosecutors alleged the evidence showed otherwise. It said Lisa Pamphlet, an attorney and friend for the Jefferson family, said she was glad that jurors took their time and said these folks gave a good hard look at the evidence and they didn't rush it. And I'm happy, not pleased, he said, but I'm happy that they got the manslaughter. Now, we know that the last video we talked about Atatiana Jefferson, they did not have a single black person on the jury whatsoever. And that needs to change in America. They need to have a judicial civil rights bill put up there. And one of them should not be an all-white jury, not at all, especially in relation to black people. I say another friend of the Jefferson family, Cliff Sparks, they told the news that he thinks the verdict will give other officers a message they can shoot and kill somebody in their own backyard and get a lesser charge. Say it's not right. He said none of this is right. He said family members of Jefferson and Dean left the courtroom without commenting. And this situation, like I said, remember, this guy was called out for a non-emergency to say they saw the front door open. I always told people in our neighborhoods, you know, if we thinking something is wrong or need help, don't get them people involved. I was always raised like that. Keep them people out your neighborhood. Keep them people out of our business, because the moment you call them, then you lose all control. This, even though he was convicted, he could face up to 20 years. He should have got the murder charge. He should have got that, period. Once again, this is a slap on the wrist for what he did. I don't care if he go to jail. He should have went for life. He should have went for life. This is not really a full win. And like the brother said, it lets them know, okay, you can just get away with it, basically. Now, I know this guy don't want to go to jail, not by a long shot. He's going to have to stay in protective custody the whole time. But we'll see what the sentencing phase is on this case, which is they'll be coming up, very, very, shortly. But he was convicted, but he should have been convicted and should have got way more time than he's supposed to be getting. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this particular case. It took, this long, to bring this guy to trial. I mean, you talk about a speedy trial. Why does it take that freaking long in America to bring people to trial for something? I mean, this many years, like, really?